Hello, guys. Welcome to TPW Talking Pro Wrestling. It's now time for All Out predictions, and I will be doing 0 Hour as well. The pay-per-view's 0 Hour event has 4 matchups. Then we've got we have 11 different matchups in the All Out main card. So let's start first with the 0 Hour. We've got Tomohiro Ishii versus Eddie Kingston, the rematch. The first match was a banger, and I bet this one will be too. Putting on this possibly hard-hitting, strong style matchup it was a great way to go here. And I think prediction-wise, I think Eddie Kingston's going to win this. But I wouldn't mind Tomohiro Ishii getting the victory here either. The AEW All-Atlantic Championship will be on the line as well, as the returning Kip Sabian will take on Pac. I'm glad that Kip's finally back. I'm excited to see Kip in action for the first time in this year alone. And he's been gone since March of last year. So there is also that. I really hope Kip does a good job here. I think Pac will retain the AEW All-Atlantic title, though. And then we have the FTW Championship on the line, as Hook, the champion, looks to take on Jericho Appreciation Society's Cool Hand Angelo Parker. I thought this was an interesting choice here for Hook. I think it's pretty obvious Hook's going to stay the FTW champion. But I thought it was an interesting choice to put Angelo Parker as Hook's opponent there. As first we had Zach Clayton, and now we have Angelo Parker. So it's kind of an interesting transition from someone like Zach Clayton to somebody like Angelo Parker. The AAA Mixed Tag Team Championships will also be on the line, as Sammy Guevara and Ty Mello, the champions, they will take on Ortiz and Ruby Soho for the third time now. I think Sammy Guevara and Ty Mello will retain, and there's not much else to say. Okay, now it's time for the all-out main show, as we've got, first of all, Bryan Danielson versus Lionheart Chris Jericho, in what is a custody of Daniel Garcia match. No, I'm just kidding. That's actually not what's happening here. But I do think Daniel Garcia will probably be involved somehow, whether that is he stays with the Jericho Appreciation Society or he joins the Blackpool Combat Club. But I'm going to predict here that Bryan Danielson gets the victory over Chris Jericho, but it really could go either way here. And then we have the AEW Interim Women's World Championship match. In a fatal four-way, Toni Storm, Dr. Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter and Hikaru Shida, they will all be in this Fatal 4-Way. And I do think Jamie Hayter may turn on in this matchup. But honestly, whenever she turns, I'm going to be happy. So there is that too. But I think I'm going to say here that Toni Storm wins this just because it was originally planned for Toni Storm to become the AEW Women's World Champion. So there is also that. And then we've got trios action as House of Black will take on Darby Allin, Sting, and Miro. And I kind of think CJ Perry, formerly known as Lana, I think she may show up too, considering that Julia Hart's a part of the House of Black. That would be awesome to see. And I think it's very possible that it does happen. But I'm going to predict here that Darby Allin, Sting, and Miro get the victory over the House of Black. And the TBS title will also be on the line as Athena looks to take on the champion Jade Cargill. This has been a very built match, and I think it's very possible that Athena becomes the TBS champion, but I'm going to play it safe here and say that Jade Cargill retains the TBS title. But Athena would be a great TBS champion as long as she doesn't get booked like Jade Cargill has been. And then we got Jungle Boy versus Christian Cage. This has been a very personal feud between Jungle Boy and Christian Cage. This all happened because Christian Cage turned on Jungle Boy. And I'm going to predict here that Jungle Boy gets the victory over Christian Cage. But Jungle Boy has really improved within his mic skills ever since the feud between him and Christian Cage took place. Jungle Boy's always been a great wrestler, but his mic skills were mediocre, but now he seemingly has done a much better job on the mic. And I think Christian's been helping him out, but anyway. I think Jungle Boy getting the victory here would make sense. He is the young guy in this, and it would give him huge momentum winning against Christian Cage. And then we got more trios action as Wardlow and FTR will take on Jay Lethal and the Motor City Machine Guns of Impact Wrestling. I'm still very confused here as the Motor City Machine Guns are heels in AEW, but they're faces with Kushida in Impact Wrestling. So it's very confusing, but it is whatever. I want Motor City Machine Guns to get a victory here, just because of the bad booking the Forbidden Door has been for AEW, especially with Impact. Like, Impact guys always seem to lose to the AEW guys, and that's super unfair. I mean, AEW is lucky that their relationship with Impact still stands. There's a reason why their relationship with Impact faded to black for like half a year. Like, you don't book the Impact guys well. You give them a matchup that everyone's talking, but then the AEW guy gets the victory. And even when AEW guys went to Impact, AEW guys still won the matchup on Impact. I think that tells you something. But I know Wardlow and FTR are probably going to win this just because FTR are the best tag team in the world. And AEW wouldn't want to bury, quote unquote, Wardlow and FTR, which you don't all, just because you lose doesn't mean you're automatically buried. But I don't know. And then we got the casino ladder match where the winner receives a future AEW World Championship matchup. We've got Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, Penta El Zero Miedo, Rey Fenix, Rush, Andrade El Idolo, and Dante Martin. And we also have a Joker that will be a part of this casino ladder match. So I'm going to say here, I'm going to make two predictions here. Number one on who will be the Joker, and number two, who's going to win the entire thing. So first, let's talk about the Joker. I've heard many things. I've heard a bunch of people saying that MJF will be the Joker. I've heard people say Samoa Joe will be the Joker. I've heard people say that maybe somebody from New Japan will be the Joker, or maybe Konosuke comes back. Like, I've been hearing all these different things about who's going to be the Joker, but the biggest one I've heard is MJF. But honestly, I'm not entirely sure about that. I know I've already said this, but I don't really think a world just randomly getting a world title opportunity. I don't think that'd work out well. So, and people have also been saying though that MJF will be interrupting in the main event, but honestly, MJF return speculation has happened in the past, and look what happened. Nothing happened. The speculations were wrong. It was super off. I mean, even I made a speculation on MJF on the Moxley and Punk match, but that didn't even happen. We got another rematch. We got a rematch for the main event. So this is one of those times where we'll see what happens. But I'm gonna predict here that it's Kota Ibushi. That's who I am going to predict will be the Joker. And then, who in fact will win this entire thing? Now that is very, that's kind of one of those things where it's like, it's kind of a process of elimination in a way. So first of all, we've got two already champions that are, and both of them are part of the Blackpool Combat Club. That being the Ring of Honor Pure Champion Wheeler Yuta. I definitely don't think he's going to win that, so let's eliminate him. Claudio Castagnoli being the Ring of Honor World Champion. I think he could win it and get an opportunity and then lose to Moxley, but I just don't think that's very likely. So let's eliminate Claudio. And then we've got Rey Fenix. And I know he's had a world championship opportunity before, and I know he's a very incredible wrestler. I've been watching AEW since 2020, so I definitely understand how Rey Fenix probably could get the shot, but ultimately there are others that could get a better opportunity. So let's eliminate Rey Fenix out of that. And Dante Martin has had a world title opportunity before. But let's be honest, that was against Hangman Adam Page, and that was a very short matchup. So if Dante Martin were to ever get a world title match with Jon Moxley, it would be short. So and I don't think AEW would want to book Dante Martin like that. So let's eliminate Dante out of the picture. And now, Rush and Andrade El Idolo. Both of those two are, they're both members of La Facción Ingobernable. And Rush has gotten a world title matchup with Moxley before. And I don't really think we want to have a rematch between Rush and John. So let's eliminate Rush from that. And Andrade, I just don't think it's very likely. So let's eliminate him. So now we've only got Penta El Zero Miedo and Kota Ibushi, assuming he is the Joker. I think in this sense, it would make more sense for Kota Ibushi, again, assuming if he's the Joker, to win this entire thing. So let's just predict here that the Joker being in my prediction, Kota Ibushi, he wins the entire thing and gets a matchup with Jon Moxley. That is my prediction. That the Joker wins the matchup and takes Jon Moxley up on whenever the world title matchup is taking place. And then we have another kind of personal feud taking place here. Ricky Starks going one-on-one with Powerhouse Hobbs. This is another one of those times where Hobbs turned on Ricky Starks. Are we starting to see some similarities here? Yeah, I think we are. Christian Cage turns on Jungle Boy. We've got this huge feud and where there's a matchup taking place. Powerhouse Hobbs turns on Ricky. Now Ricky is an even bigger face. Powerhouse Hobbs is a bigger heel. Christian Cage turns heel, but Jungle Boy is an even bigger face. And yet, this is a personal feud. So I think we're starting to see some similarities here. Although, there are some differences. And I think, ultimately, Powerhouse Hobbs will be the one to beat Ricky Starks. I don't think that'll be the end of the feud, however. As Ricky Starks obviously would need to beat Powerhouse Hobbs at some point. But in another hand, Powerhouse Hobbs getting the victory here and then ending this feud could give Powerhouse Hobbs huge momentum. And then Ricky Starks could start getting up to the top as well. And then both of these two could randomly have a matchup once again. That would be something incredible. So there is that too. And then the AEW Tag Team Championships will be on the line as the Acclaimed looks to take on Swerve in Our Glory as the champions. Well, the Acclaimed aren't the champions. Swerve in Our Glory is the champions. My bad. And this is one of those times where I'm like, I think it's very obvious, but at the same time, it's not. This really could go either way. I'm going to predict here, just because FTR are the number one ranked, that the Swerve in Our Glory retain the Tag Team Championships. And then we have the AEW World Trios Tournament Finals. Whoever wins this is crowned the inaugural Trios champs. So we've got the Dark Order, Hangman Adam Page, John Silver, and Alex Reynolds taking on the Elite, Kenny Omega, and the Young Bucks. So the question here is, who becomes the Trios champions? Well, considering the fact that Tony Khan himself said he had something big planned for the Young Bucks, and then before then said he wanted to wait for Kenny to announce the Trios championships, I think it's very obvious here the Elite is going to win this matchup. But then think of it this way. It gives a sense of unpredictability as well. Like, you could say, it's kind of like reverse psychology in a way. So you could say that say this happens, like this is that, like the stuff Tony Khan said was said already. And then the Dark Order find a way to become the Trios champions. This could set up a huge storyline between the Elite and the Dark Order. I know, with the Elite and the Undisputed Elite, that was supposed to be a thing. But that seems to have been scrapped. This could be the next big feud for the Elite and the Dark Order. Or it could be something else. This could be like just one of those one-off things. And then Hangman and the Elite, they go their separate ways. The storytelling that the Elite have, the storytelling that Hangman has is unreal. It really is. It is super unreal. So the real question here is, which storyline seems more believable? Adam and the Elite part ways, or Adam and the Elite have a feud? I think the more believable thing is that Adam and the Elite part ways, but this is one of those times where it's unpredictable. It's a chance to finally be excited for something. Just because of the fact of what Tony Khan has said, I'm just gonna predict the Elite are going to become the inaugural Trios champions. Then we have the AEW World Championship matchup as the main event. Jon Moxley and CM Punk with a rematch, but this time as Jon is the champion. And it's not a unification bout. I'm just going to go on the flow here. I'm not going to talk much. Jon Moxley retains the AEW World Championship. I don't like the fact that this is the main event. I don't want this to be the main event. I want Jon to take on somebody else. I hate the fact that we're having this once again. So thank you all for watching, or I should say listening. This is TPW Talking Pro Wrestling. I'll see you guys on the next episode, being the All Out results. Good night, everyone.